Hello and welcome back to my channel. As you can hear by my voice, I am still sick. I got bronchitis a couple of weeks ago and I coughed so hard I did some damage to my vocal cords. I'm still kind of coughing a little bit here and there, so if I cough in the video, I apologize. I do have warm tea behind me, and yes, I am having a little bit of fun with wigs today because I do like to play with them sometimes, and I got a bunch in while I was sick, and I thought, I feel like garbage and kind of look like garbage. Why not play with some of my lovely little cosplay wigs? This one, I wish I got it in pink because it reminds me so much of Sakura's hair, but I'll probably order it in pink. I have it in orange and I'll definitely be picking it up in pink, I think. But yeah, I'm kind of that nerd that absolutely loves Naruto. So yeah, but let's jump into some of the things that I hadn't covered because I have been sick, and I kind of just want to like lump them all into one video and go ahead and cover them and talk about them because they need to be discussed in my opinion. And some of them are just kind of so out there, it's ridiculous. Let's start with the fact that Donald Trump wanted to buy Greenland. He wanted to buy an entire country from another country without quite understanding that Greenland has its own government and people, and this isn't the early 18 and the late 1800s, early 1900s, where you could still just buy a country. That's not how this works. Greenland is not going to want to lose their free healthcare, their free education, and all the stuff that comes from being a part of Denmark. And I personally don't blame them. And for Trump to think that he can just buy it from Denmark is laughably stupid. I do get kind of why he wants some of it because global warming is making Greenland more enriched with what is underneath the ice field. Like they're saying there's oil and things that they can mine and all sorts of other crap that's just underneath that ice sheet that we are currently melting. But if I was Greenland, I would fight like hell to protect what Donald Trump would just go there and completely and totally destroy. Then, when he realized that he couldn't buy Greenland, he canceled his trip to Denmark, which was hilarious because he invited himself to Denmark. This wasn't something that Denmark was like, please, we want a Donald Trump visit. No, he invited himself and then disinvited himself because he had a hissy fit, and it was hilarious. And yeah, so there was Trump buying Greenland, which to me was just the most ridiculous thing. It has like 50,000 people. You can't just buy 50,000 people. That's not how the world works. And they would have some say in it. And until you take care of Puerto Rico, how about you leave another island alone? I'm just saying. Okay. The next thing is also a Donald Trump thing that I wanted to cover, and that was his entire G7 summit thing, where even England's prime minister called him out on his trade war because it is killing the economy. We all know it's killing the economy, even though he chooses to ignore the fact that it is killing the economy. It is still killing the economy. So, yeah, when that douche nozzle calls out our douche nozzle, yeah, you know you've done something wrong, and he did it in the middle of a meeting with reporters there. So, yeah. Then there was the whole thing where he was like, I'm meeting with the leader of India and I am meeting with the leader of Germany, so I can't make the climate meeting. But yet here I am, lying to you. Obviously, when you lie, you have to, make it a lie that's believable that we can't disprove with photographic evidence. They were both in the climate change meeting with his empty chair, which, to be perfectly honest, it's probably a good thing he wasn't there because they can get a lot more done without him than they can get done with him. So, you know what? Leave the childish baby at home. He deserves to not be in that meeting anyway. Let the adults in the room speak, and you can just. Bleh. The other thing, there's a couple of things, but we're going to cover the fact that he's trying to get Putin back in and make it the G8 instead of the G7. Yeah, you are really, if you're not a Russian puppet, stop acting like a Russian puppet because you look like a Russian puppet, and my hair is so weird like this. It's different. It's definitely different. But yeah, no, just no. How dumb do you have to be to not understand that he annexed Crimea against, the Ukraine. That wasn't that wasn't like outsmarting Donald Trump. That was he basically went in and took over part of a country, and he was kicked out for doing that. And then he got diplomats and everything else expelled from from the United States, and a compound in Maryland taken away because he was interfering in the 2016 election. That wasn't outsmarting Obama. That was outsmarting you, because Obama wanted to release a thing saying that the election was being interfered, and Mitch McConnell, being Moscow Mitch, didn't want it to interfere with his prospects of getting Donald Trump elected and having a puppet dumb president. And that's exactly what happened. So of course, none of this is Obama's fault. Once again, Obama has done plenty of things I disagree with, but nowhere to the degree that Trump has done. And yeah, our president is a moron. Okay, and then the last thing that he did was he decided to go ahead and make his own property part of the whole next G7 thing, where they can all meet there. We all know that this particular property, which I will link down below, is underwater. It's where Trump makes most of his money. And the reason I'm not saying that property is I don't want to give that property the advertisement. To be perfectly honest, I will just say it's a piece of property in Miami. I don't want to give it any more advertisement than it's already got, so I'm not going to say its name. But Donald Trump decided to go ahead and, sorry, my dog is barking, but I don't want to stop recording. He decided to go ahead and say that he was going to hold the next G Summit there, and that it was the only viable place because it's close to the airport, it's got great golf courses, and it's got these bungalows. No, the reason he wants to do that is they would have to pay to be there. It would be international attention for his failing business. It once again brings attention. It brings attention to saying it brings in the money that he desperately needs, because you have the diplomats and the people that work for the diplomats and the security and all of that would have to stay there, and that's how he would bring in quite a bit of money that way. Then there is the whole fact that it's gotten in trouble for health code violations. It had bed bugs and cockroaches, and for a luxury, I don't even want that in like a $50 a night hotel, which I tend to try to avoid, much less a couple hundred to probably $1,000 a night hotel that I'm paying a frack ton of money to be in, and here you are, and has bed bugs and roaches. I don't think so. I wouldn't go there. That property is deeply underwater. He's breaking the Emoluments Clause of the Constitution by making money off the presidency. We all know he's making money off the presidency. That is not a surprise. But the fact that he is so blatantly doing it with the G7 summit, I am hoping that the other leaders are like, roll up a newspaper and go no. But as we know, they probably won't, because I don't know. He made us look like an idiot. They treated him like the dum that he is. Other leaders are filling in for where our leaders should be, and we are losing a certain amount of power and ability, and I don't like that. So that was that. Then we had him rolling back his things on gun control, and how he in 1 minute he's saying that we need better background checks, which we do. We need red flag laws. We need background checks for guns. I mean, there's lots of things that we need, and I'll get into another video and discuss that. But then he rolled around and reversed this decision because the NRA called him up, and I don't understand how the NRA still has power given what they're going through right now. But apparently, considering he's one of their highest donors and they give him a crap ton of money, it's like him and then Mitch McConnell and then several of the Republicans, they really don't give Democrats money anymore. Once again, I'm really sorry about the coughing. Yeah, so he's just sitting there. They called him up, and he was like, and he flipped and was like, we have some of the best background checks. No, we don't. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had another 2 shootings in under 24 hours in Alabama and Texas. But that's the story for a different video, because I don't want to rant about that. I want to keep it focused on this, and my dogs won't start barking, so I have to pause this, and I'll be right back. And the last thing that I want to talk about on the Donald Trump front for this is the economy. It is tanking. He is causing it to tank with his trade war in China. We know this. This is something he is trying to deny. And even though he continues to try and deny it, it is actually a thing. We need to pay attention to it. We need to get him to stop. And what most people don't know is that technically he does not have the right to enact tariffs unless it's a national security issue. And China is not a national security issue. It's just not. This is just Donald Trump abusing his power to make these rules. like he did with the border wall and everything else. Donald Trump is a freaking moron, and we really, really, really need to get Congress to stop being pansies that they are and do the freaking jobs. This includes Moscow Mitch or Mitch McConnell or Turtle Man or whatever you want to call him. He needs to stop killing bills. He needs to get off his butt and check Donald Trump before we have bigger issues than what we already have. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. He technically shouldn't have this power. The House and the Senate have the power to take this away from him, but yet they sit back and they do nothing. And it's mostly the Senate where bills are killed by Mitch McConnell. And I am going to do a thing on Mitch McConnell later. But that's basically all the Trump news that I didn't cover in 3 weeks. And I will see you later.